Welcome, everybody. This is Damon Friedman Show, not just your standard podcast. This is a movement, and this is the first one in the longest time. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's really personal, something that's changed my life. Topic is going to be grief. I will tell you that today I'm just a different person. And it only takes one life-altering event. You know, the word grief, man, I tell you, I thought I knew what grief was. I served 20 years in the military. Many of you have been following me for quite a while. You know, I served, first in the Marine Corps, crossed over to the Air Force as a special warfare, special tactics officer. I've seen it all. I've gone through a lot. Numerous deployments, Iraq, Afghanistan. Fought for this country. I love this country. Bled for this country. Woke up in the hospital a few times for this country. Been inpatient. 3 months, 9 months outpatient, recovering from my injuries for this country. I've gone through a lot. But I want to just say that I'm super blessed. Super blessed. I'm really proud of my service, and feel like I've given my best years to my country. I continue to serve. I was in special operations. Now I'm running a nonprofit called SOF Missions. I'm involved in national endeavors with the White House, the Veterans Affairs, the state of Florida, the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm on lots of boards. I'm a national speaker with one of the top agencies in the country. I'm on, lots of different platforms. I speak in front of Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies. I'm blessed. And I have a family. And my life changed. I'm up there, and I was coming from a speaking engagement, flew into Boston, and to promote my kid brother, who I'm very, very proud of. He's in the Air Force, picked up Major. Got to talk about him a little bit, make fun of him in front of his peers. But really just kind of just honored that he's following my footsteps in the service, and picked up the rank of Major. And that day, as we're having a celebration for his new promotion, his new rank, I get a phone call. My son was in a catastrophic accident that almost killed him. I'm in Boston, and my son was flown to St. Joseph's Hospital, the ER, as they're keeping him alive. The state trooper, I'm on the phone with him, thought he was dead on arrival. They're keeping him alive. He's mangled. He's find out that he's broken 10 vertebrae, 8 significantly, 4 completely demolished. His pelvis is fractured in multiple ways. His leg, his arm, just he was in bad shape. I couldn't get home. And I don't know, man, I have spent my whole life protecting people, fighting for people. When that Red Star cluster comes, I'm there. I'm literally on a helo, and I'm hitting that objective, man, and I'm gonna take action, man. And here I am. I couldn't get home. It was late. There were no more flights. I could have, get in a car and driven. Then, but it would have been later than if I would have just taken the first flight in the morning. And that night was the worst night of my life. The worst. Yeah, my son almost died, and he's my prized possession. And I finally got in the next morning, and there he was, just laying there. I cannot tell you. Ooh, I cannot tell you how I felt. Why wasn't I there? I held his hand, and all I could do was pray. I'm telling you, from that one moment, I was just praying. And the doctors, they did all the surgeries. There were 6 of them. One of them was like 12 hours long, maybe longer, putting his, back together, his pelvis together. It was so complicated that they had to wait on his leg and his arm and his wrist because it was just a very complex surgery. You had 2 neurosurgeons, orthopedic surgeons. Like, there were a lot of surgeries, a lot of surgeons, a lot of people putting him back together. And I remember the neurosurgeon, he looked at me, he said, he's lucky he's alive. And I asked him, I said, what's the probability of him walking again? He said, he was kind of cold. A lot of the neurosurgeons, they don't have a lot of bedside manners. And he was just kind of forthright. And he just said, less than 1%. And here's my kid who was on the state cross country championship team. He was on the track championship. Like, he is one of the top runners in the state. You should have seen his stride. His stride was amazing. It was like angelic. It was like so effortless. And his gift, his mom was state champion. I was an All-American. Dana was an All-American. Top, 10 in the U.S. in the 800 meters, both of us. And yeah, he was the one that was supposed to break all the records. And now he's got less than 1% chance in walking. Yeah, I don't know what I honestly, there are no words to describe the level of pain. And, it's been 6 months, man, 7 months. And it's been the hardest thing I've ever gone through. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would trade all the conflict, all the deployments, all the war, every round, every RPG, every bomb, everything I've ever gone through, every concussive blast, every hospital. I would go through it all over again. And it was hell, man. It was hell. 20 years. I joined in 2000. I got out in 2020. Like, I served predominantly during the war. And it was tough, man. Like, I gave my best years to my country. My family suffered. I did it. I did it. I did it for him. I did it for my daughter. I did it for my wife. I did it for every American. And when I finally choose to enjoy the freedom that I fought for, that I bled for, now my son's life's changed. And I'm here to tell you, if you're a parent out there and you've gone through something like this, man, I am so sorry. I am so sorry, because it's the worst pain I think a human can experience. I think it's like, today I would trade that wheelchair in. Like, I would take that wheelchair from my son. I would take that wheelchair from my son. I have no problem. I will go back to it all over again. I will do physical therapy as many hours as possible every single day. And yeah, so what? I can't walk. No big deal. I'll figure it out. Life is hard. It's tough. And you know what? And sometimes it's really unfair. But the reality is that's what life is. And it's not really about um, how well things go. It's about how you respond when everything in your life just goes south. That's the kind of person that you become. That's the man that you become. That's where your true character, is revealed. How do we handle these stressful moments, when the very thing that matters most to you is on the verge of, distinction? And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot that I do. Everyone that knows me, I'm always working. I'm always after it. I'm always trying to be productive. I'm always trying to save a life. I'm always trying to make programs better. I'm always giving. I'm always serving. All these things. The day that accident happened, I checked out. You know what I realized at that one moment? And I've preached this. I've shared this a million times. Like a million times. But I'll tell you, I've never felt so convicted the way that I did. Nothing matters in this whole world. Not your business, not your money, not your paycheck, not the next rank, not the next mission, not the next nothing. All that stuff doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your family. I was not always like super close to my son. We had some challenges kind of growing up a little bit. I mean, he's me. And I was a big pain in the butt. Just ask my mom. I was mischievous. I did a lot of nefarious things. I mean, I wasn't like the greatest kid. I born and raised in LA in the melting pot, man. Like, you got a lot of strangers out there, and I'm a high risk, high reward person. So I went into the special operations community, and my son's just like me, and he took a lot of risks until one day they all caught up to him. And the only thing that matters to me is him and him alone. I spent so many nights right next to him and just praying. And throughout this whole process, I started making posts. And my posts were different. Every one of my posts, if you go back all the way in April, you'll see every post was about prayer, 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 prayer. I'm going to tell you something. Prayer actually works. Some people believe in it. Some people don't. But I'll tell you what, prayers move mountains. And we had tens of thousands. I would easily say over 100,000 people praying for my son. I didn't want anything. And there were a lot of really nice people. They delivered food, Uber Eats, They offered to help in every capacity, but the only thing I wanted was prayer, because I know that prayer works. Prayer has moved my life. Prayer has moved mountains. Prayers have opened doors. Prayer has shifted things. Prayer has been paradigm shift. Like, prayer works. And now I'm trying to put myself together again. And I'm living this new life, this new chapter with my son in a wheelchair. Every day, God is so good. You know that throughout this whole process, people would send me all these emails and they would go, hey, don't be mad at God. I know that you are. Don't be mad. He's got a, or people saying, I've shaken my fist to God. I understand. I'm going to tell you right now, I had to actually do a post because I wanted everyone to know I wasn't angry at God. How could I be angry at God? Did God have anything to do with it? So many people like to blame God when something bad happens in their lives, especially when they're the ones who dictated their move, that dictated their decision, that dictated their steps. You want to be upset with God. So many people blame God for all this stuff when the majority of the problems that people are having are based off of the decisions that they make. Oh, let's just blame God. It's so easy to go, oh man, or people overly spiritualizing things like, Satan is all after me. Really? Is that true? Now, there's definitely no doubt that there's spiritual warfare out there. I believe that there's good, there's evil. I have seen it with my own eyes. I know exactly what evil looks like. And you know what? The influence around me to be mad at God, to be angry at God, to blame God. Oh man, it was all around me. I made a post saying there's absolutely no way I could blame God. If there's anything, this is the time where I had to cling on to him in a way that I've never clinged on to him before. Because you know what? There's a God in heaven that created the world, and he is the great physician. If there's anyone at all that can heal him, it is God. Neurosurgeon telling me he's got less than 1% chance of walking. All right. Maybe that's true. But God has a hand in it because God can do anything. And I'm here to tell you, man, I wrote a post. I sent multiple emails. I got thousands upon thousands upon thousands of personal messages, thousands. And I read every one of them because I'll tell you, I couldn't sleep. And all I did was responded to every, and I want to just say for all of you people out there that send me a message, I read your message. I read every one of your messages and I responded to every one of the messages. Every as much as humanly possible. I'd stay up for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours throughout the entire evening, all throughout the day, responding to people's messages because I wanted them to know that I heard them and I'm asking them to pray for my son. And I'm going to tell you something. God is so faithful. In the hardest time of my whole life, God has been there. For all of you out there that have gone through something like this, I want you to know that I understand. War is hell. But it doesn't compare. It doesn't even compare to the pain that comes when your own son or your own daughter goes through an experience like this. Friends, I'm here to say something. Throughout the worst time in my life, and it is the worst time of my life, God has been here. He's been present. He's provided. He's protected. And he's answered my prayers. Today, my son is getting more feeling throughout his legs. And he's doing all this therapy to get back on his feet. And if it's God's will, he's going to walk again. I believe that he will. I believe God has a plan for him. I believe that the wheelchair does not define him. I believe that it's propelled him to be the man that God's called him to be. And sometimes these catastrophic events are required to reset and reflect and refocus. And that's exactly what's happening with me. Today, I'm looking around and I'm thinking, you know what? Life is very fragile. You're here today, you're gone tomorrow. You think that you've got tomorrow. You think you do, but the reality is that you have no idea. Getting phone calls of a friend of mine that I met on the airplane about 2 years ago who became kind of a business partner in the speaking world. He just died just a couple weeks ago in cancer. He's not the only one. Another friend of mine that I've known for a while, all of a sudden, 3 months ago, he had a pain, goes into the doctor's office, finds out he's got stage 4. A couple months later, he dies. You think you think you're good to go. You don't know. And I'm here to say that as I'm reevaluating my life, I have cut things out. And let me tell you the priority. God is center stage, always has been center stage. I'm more focused than I've ever been. I want to make sure that I'm faithful with the time that I have here on this earth. And I want to make sure that whatever it is that I do, it's fulfilling my ultimate calling. And today, when my son calls, I'm in a meeting. I say, excuse me. I step out and say, what's up, son? Too many of us dads and moms today, we're just forwarding to voicemail. Man, I am an ambitious person, and I'm telling you, I want to make an impact in the world. Everybody that knows me, I'm a dynamic personality. I want to make sure I'm faithful with the time that I have, the resources that I have. God's given me an incredible platform. I get a chance to serve so many people, help them go through all their trauma, psychological, physical, social, cognitive, spiritual. It's such an honor to do this. I seek and I desire to be the best servant leader possible. But I'm telling you right now, man, you can accomplish so much. But if you lose your own family, you've lost everything. Everything. God has a plan. And that plan is so good. It says in Jeremiah 29:11 that his plans are so awesome. They're so good. They're not for evil. They're for good. But it also says this. It says that if you seek me with all of your heart, if you seek me, you will find me. I will bring you home. Well, you know what? I have been in the wilderness the last 6 months, and I'm ready to come home, man. I'm ready to come home. I'm ready to come home. So if you're out there and you've gone through this kind of stuff, man, like, just have faith, because God is good and he's going to get you through it. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Alcohol was calling my name. All those dark moments were calling my name. Not going to lie. Even drugs called my name. Bad influence called my name. Like, there were a lot of things I could have done that would have been very self-destructive. But I said, no, man, I'm too old for this trash. I got to stay fixated on what matters most, and that is God and his plan. I took a tactical pause, and like they say in Ranger School, face outboard, drink some water, Ranger. I took out my map of life, and I took out my compass, and I said, God, am I on the right track? Am I where I need to be? I need you, man. I need you more now than ever. And he's answered my prayers. And there's more to come. If you're out there, man, just trust in him. Trust in the process, because he is good. Thanks for listening to me. I'm sorry I didn't keep it all together, but many of you asked, like, how am I doing? I'm doing okay. This rucksack's heavy, and I'm back on track. And I'm more focused than I've ever been. And I'm going to see this through. He's going to walk. He's going to go to college. He's going to fulfill his calling. And I'm going to be right there, right next to him. Right next to him. And we're going to do great things together as father and son. If you're listening, Hunter, I love you more than anything in the world. You're my prized possession. And I'm proud of you. Thanks for watching. This is the Damon Friedman Show. Not just a podcast, but it's a movement. Godspeed.